One rep max lifts are not inherently dangerous. Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and I thought I would chat with you guys and gals a little bit about this today. Also, if you guys would, please remember to like the video, please subscribe, follow me, please remember to share the video and comment down below. It would be greatly appreciated. So, on to this topic of one rep max lifts. One rep max lifts are not inherently dangerous. They're just simply not. It's a ludicrous idea, and I'm not saying certain drugs do not contribute. I'm not saying bad program and overuse don't contribute. But realistically speaking, if you're a fit athlete, you know what you're doing, or you have good coaching, one rep maxes are just a very, very, very low injury risk. Okay, they're not something that we need to be worried about. They're not something that we need to be scared about. They're not the boogeyman that people make them out to be. Okay, straining against a heavy weight is not problematic once you've been training just a little while. If you're under the guidance of a coach, obviously novices need to learn good form. They need to learn these things. They need fatigue management. But they're, first of all, not that strong. They're really not. And you can very easily build up their soft tissue. So in other words, you know where injuries are likely to occur. If you're a coach, you build those areas up and you teach them how to lift. But when you look at stuff like conjugate type system, perfect example, the lifters max out every week. Even when I do it, I max out every week. Very, very, very low injuries from it. Right? Very low injuries. I've only had in my entire life one injury from doing a single rep set. And I pulled my lat a few years ago doing a really heavy deficit deadlift, but it didn't stop me from training. I worked out the next day. I did pull my lat, it turned black. But I was able to do all my bench pressing and my other stuff, and I deadlifted again 2 weeks later. It was not a problem. It was really not a problem. That's it. That's it. That's my entire injury history from doing a heavy single. I've got hurt doing reps, but not maxing out. Right? Take the tren out of the equation. Take excessive aromatase inhibitors out of the equation. Take knee wraps out of the equation. Yeah, the numbers start going down a lot. There's most of your injury risk right there, resolved. Learn to get tight. Learn to use good form. And I know coaches who literally have old women max out. Like I knew when I did a podcast a number of years ago with a guy. At his gym, he has 50 and 60-year-old grandmas in there maxing on squats, deadlifts, and bench presses. Like his regular client. As a regular fitness coach and a strength coach, he has his general population clients. He had them maxing out. I asked him, do any of them get hurt? And he's like, no, they never get hurt. Like none of these old women get hurt. And they hit one rep maxes, and they compete, they track it. They keep up with it. Like he had every one of them, all his clients on a big board, since he owned the gym, putting their maxing out every single month on 4 big barbell lifts every month, and the whole gym knew what everyone's max was. All his clients, every last one of them were up on a board. They knew what their most recent max was. They knew what their PR was. They tracked it for the whole gym to see. No problems. Why? Because we know how to handle these things. It's bad form breaking down, overuse injuries. Now, oftentimes drugs in the equation. Overuse. What happens if you don't have overuse? What happens if you do soft tissue work? Like if you know where you're most prone to get injured, let's say you have a gym like that, you do reverse hypers. You do reverse hypers and you don't ever touch and go deadlifts. Well, you can't touch and go one rep max. Do people hurt their backs? Probably not. What if they just learn to stay tight? No. Do people who lock their elbows and don't ever have slack in the bar tear biceps when they deadlift? No. Bending your elbow is the problem. Well, getting loose and being too aggressive with it. Not being calm, so doing stupid stuff. Okay? So if you build all the support tendons up, even old women who've been working out for 6 months can max out just fine. Okay? When you stop ego lifting, when you stop having overuse problems, when you take the time to just build tissue up to accommodate it. Now people say, well, that's only advanced lifters. No, you can build muscle tissue in your first 6 weeks in the gym. I know this sounds crazy, right? This is going to sound crazy. Do you know you can start building tissue in the first 6 weeks? So if you've taken the time to learn basic form and built stuff up, what's stopping you from doing a 1 rep max? If you can do an 8 rep set, why can't you just go heavier and do a single? If you have someone who's taught you how to get tight, you know how to hold the bar correctly when you bench, you stack the wrists, you spend some time building your shoulder health up a little bit, you built your elbow tendons up for 6 weeks, why can't you max out? It's only an issue because of silly kids in the football room all allowing horrific form, no fatigue management, screaming at each other, allowing bouncing weights off your chest on the bench press and all sorts of ass clownery. This is where people get hurt. That's the ego lifting. Ego lifting, poor fatigue management. This is where it's happening. I would contend to you that 1 rep max lifts are no more dangerous than a normal work set with any compound movement. I've seen people get hurt on machines. I've seen people get hurt on isolation movements when they do dumb stuff. Especially when overuse comes into the equation. How about you know your limits? How about you rotate rep ranges? How about you rotate movements? Injuries start going down dramatically, don't they? Change the lift you max on every week. You don't have the overuse problems. You do the high rep work for your tendons and soft tissue. These injuries start going away. You learn to manage fatigue. You learn to stay tight. Because isn't that the thing people say, well, you got to learn to do that. Well, you learn to do it by doing it. You get under there, learn to stay tight, and you max out. Quit getting psyched up. Go in and lift the weight. That's the problem too. People put so much emphasis on the maxing that they think they have to be psyched up and scream and yell, and that they have to drink 17 Monsters or take a pre-workout or snort OxyContin or something, or whatever the hell they're doing, snort Adderall or something. Well, you could just have a cup of coffee and go max out. That's what I do. I don't even eat breakfast. I just have some coffee and go hit a max deadlift. Like, it's that simple. Build all your connective tissue up. Don't do dumb stuff. That's it. Lifting heavy, hitting maxes is pretty dang safe. Excessive psychological arousal can be a problem, therefore it leads to bad form. The wrong drugs, overuse problems, which again also mixes with fatigue management and programming. That's what gets people hurt. That is what's getting people hurt. It's not because they're maxing out. Just don't lift like an ass clown. Hey, get in and do it right. It's perfectly safe. I mean, relative safe. I mean, you could die on your way to the gym in a car wreck, but you know what I mean. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative. I'll talk to you guys and gals next time.